Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Bot Bros. So in previous video we have seen a practical demo on UiPath MCP where we have understand like how we can actually utilize the tools like the predefined workflows, then RPA workflows, API workflows, agentic process. So if you haven't watched my previous video, so please do check it out. So in this video we are going to build UiPath coded custom MCP server step by step. So we said that let's get started. So what exactly this coded MCP server is? Like you can build your own custom MCP server, like you can build your own logic, or we can say the tools using this Python SDK, and instead of relying like on predefined workflows, right? And this coded MCP server will help you to build your own custom MCP using Python. Okay, so what we are going to do is like we are just creating our own MCP server, and before that you need to have the Python install on your system, either 3.11 or higher version. Then you should have the UV or pip package manager, so this will help you to install and download the required packages, because before creating the MCP server we need to install the MCP package, UiPath MCP package. So that I'm going to show you as well. So let me open my notepad first. So here what we are going to do is, so first we will create a virtual environment, so that's why we need to have the Python install. Then we will activate that in virtual environment. Then we will run this pip command to upgrade the Python command. Then we will install the UiPath package, that is nothing but the UiPath MCP package. Then we are going to create the MCP server. Then we will initialize the project. Then we will authenticate with our orchestrator, and then we will package that MCP process, and we will just publish it. So that's what we are going to do. So let me open my ID first. So I'll just open my ID. You can use any ID like the VS Code or the CMD or Windows PowerShell. So let me first copy the first command, which is nothing but the this virtual environment. Let me copy it from here. Let me go my terminal. Let me paste it. So here it will first create a virtual environment for me. So currently this folder, okay, it has created, if you see here, it has created the virtual environment for me. Then I have to activate this virtual environment, because we are going to create the MCP server within the virtual environment. Let me paste it. Here you can see it has activated. Now let me copy this command. So this will just upgrade my pip package. Okay, it I haven't updated correctly. Let me copy it again. Copy it. Okay, so it is installing the latest, upgrading the latest package. Okay, now we will install this UiPath MCP package. Let me paste it here. It might take some time to install this, all the required dependencies, all the packages for this MCP. Then we are going to create our first own MCP server. Then we will deploy it in orchestrator, and then we will test the MCP server tools. Okay, it has installed my MCP UiPath MCP package. Now I will run this command to create the MCP server. So let me paste it here. Let me enter. So it will create the server.py file, that mcp.json. So mcp.json is nothing but the my entry point for this MCP server. Okay, then project.toml file, which will include the dependency which are needed to run this MCP server. So let me show you that as well. So if I open the server.py file, so here you can see we have imported this then we have imported this fast MCP. So using this fast MCP we can define our own custom tools. So here we have the two tools, one is adding two numbers and second one is multiplying two numbers. Okay, let me open the py project.toml. So here you can see dependency. So we have installed the UiPath MCP and the Python version requires greater than 3.11. Okay, so this is how this MCP server looks like. Let me now we will going to initialize the project, which will create the UiPath.json file. Then it will create a .environment file where we will connect to the orchestrator. So now this is not an error. It will asking me to just run the UiPath out, so it will connect to my orchestrator. So let me just pass the UiPath out command. So see, it has connected. Now if I came back to this terminal, here you can see it has successfully authenticate my orchestrator. So if I go to the .environment file, so here you can see this is my access token, this is my UiPath URL, tenant ID, UiPath organization ID. So now let me run this UiPath pack. Okay, let me run this UiPath pack. Okay, let me run the UiPath init again, because UiPath JSON file I haven't created it. Okay, it has created now. Now I will package my MCP server UiPath pack. Okay, now it has created the package 0.01. You can see here. Now if I go to the package in the UiPath, here you can see the NuGet package it has created, match server 0.1 NuGet package. So now we will deploy this into orchestrator. So to deploy it, UiPath publish. So it will ask you to select your tenant. So I'll select the 0, that is nothing but my tenant. I'll deploy it in my tenant. So it will publish my MCP server. So now let me go to the orchestrator. Go my orchestrator, go to my MCP server, click on add MCP server, coded MCP. I'll give it in as name. Here we need to select the process. Oh sorry, I need to first create the process here. I'll go to the add process, match server, then click on next, click on create. Now if I go to the MCP server, click on add MCP server, coded MCP server, let me provide the name coded MCP, then I'll select the process, then I'll just click on add. So once I click on add, so here you can see it has started running. So it will configure the tools. Let's wait. So currently it is active. Let me refresh it. Let's see. So here you can see there are two tools, one is add, one is multiply. Okay, so now we have created this coded MCP server. Now what we will do is we will test this in Postman. I'll just open my Postman. I'll go to the new, I'll go to the MCP and I will paste the MCP URL. I'll just copy this MCP URL, go to the Postman. So we need to provide the authorization, that is nothing but the bearer token. Let me copy my okay, this is my client secret. I need to go to the Swagger. So let me put the Swagger here. Let me click on authorize. Let me log out first. Let me paste my client secret and click on authorize. Okay, so let me get the bearer token from here. Let me copy this bearer token. Let me paste it here. So click on connect. So it will connect my MCP server. Might be I have copied till okay, should connect. Okay, here you can see my MCP server has connected. If I go to the message, so here you can see under tools I have the two tools, one is add, one is multiply. If I go to the add, so I need to provide the numbers, right? Let me pass it 10, here 10, click on run. So it has executed. Here you can see the result is 20. This is how this MCP coded MCP server works. So here you can even add your own custom tools like custom logic as well. If I want to add one more tool, I can add here. So what we are going to do is we will simply go to the agent and we'll see how it will work. I'll go to the studio first. I'll just simply create one simple agent to see how this MCP server works. Just click on agent. Okay. Let me click on start fresh. Go into the forms. If I go to the tools, here we have the option called MCP server. So I have already created. Here you can see coded MCP. I'll just click on that MCP. Connect to MCP server. So here you can see the tools. So what we are going to do is we will just simply create two inputs, integer number we will take, num1, then here one more we will create it, num2. Okay, what now in the system prompt I'll just provide like run the MCP tool. I'll just provide the name, and in the user prompt I'll just mention pass the my number one, or we can say run the MCP tool name add. Okay, then I'll simply num1 num2. Okay, let's see how this works in. I'll just provide the 10, then in the num2 10, just click on save and debug. Let's see how it works. So this is how we can build our own custom MCP server and we can just deploy it in our orchestrator. So still it is running. Now my LLM will call. Here you can see it has called my coded MCP tool called add, and it will give me the result whatever the tool has written the result, like that is nothing but 20. Once our tool has been executed, then it will return to our LLM, and our LLM will give the response. That is how this MCP server works. So if I go to the agent output, here you can see the result of adding 10 and 10 is 20. This is how this coded MCP server works. I hope this demo helps you understand like how coded MCP server works and how we can actually build our own MCP server. Thanks for watching.